Coming up next, our App of the Week, in which we show you how to use the app and review its accessibility. You can submit your recording for this segment. Email it to us at contactus@blindandroidusers.com.
Hello everyone, I'm Ed Green, and this week I'm demonstrating the Google Calendar app. It's fairly self-explanatory. It's an app that helps you track events, tasks, and provides reminders of things that you need to do. We probably could spend quite a few weeks looking at the different features of Google Calendar, but I'm just really bringing you a quick overview of the app today. We'll take a look at navigating the calendar, some of the different views that are on offer. We'll create events in a couple of different ways, and I'll also show you some, though by no means all, of the app's different settings. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Google Calendar.
Calendar, search button.
And we're in the Calendar app. It's landed on one of the buttons. Now, it's worth exploring the top row of the Calendar app initially, so just below your status bar, because there are some key controls here. So I'm going to start on the left.
Show calendar list and settings drawer button.
So in here, you can find the different calendars that you have access to on your Google phone. On your Android phone even. Each Google account you sign into on your phone will have its own calendars. I have quite a few. You can also find settings and a couple of other things that you can enable. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So if I carry on exploring to the right.
June, show date picker.
Here is where you would change the date that you're currently viewing. We'll talk about views in a minute, but this is the date picker. So if you double tap on that, you can navigate to specific dates. Unlike Google Calendar on the web, there's unfortunately no go-to button, so you can't type a date in manually. You're going to have to explore it on here, but it's not particularly difficult. So I'll carry on exploring right.
Search button.
Search will let you search for a specific event. Maybe you can't remember what it is, but you vaguely know what it is. You might want to come in here and do that.
Jump to the date button.
Very important button this. If you are navigating your calendar, maybe you've gone into the date picker and you want to get back to the day, then this is where you're going to come to do it. A nice handy button, and we're towards the top right-hand corner of the app. It's not in the exact top right-hand corner because there you have
signed in as Edward Green or Green 1. Jump to the date button.
Yeah, the thing you have on the Play Store and other Google apps as well, where you get into your Google account and settings. You don't get into your calendar settings that way, interestingly enough. So I'm going to go back to the left-hand side, and we'll move down the screen now.
Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. Open day view.
So it announced today's date, and it said Open Day View. Now, I can do that, and I'll do that in a minute. What we're currently in is what it calls Schedule View. Some calendars call this Agenda View. And what you have is you have all your events broken up by day. So you can swipe and swipe and swipe and swipe, or slide your finger down the screen, and it will tell you various things. It'll just keep going. It's not a view defined by a time frame particularly. I don't have a great deal of events in my personal calendar, but I'll show you what I mean when I swipe.
Nothing planned. Tap to create.
So it's saying nothing planned, and I could create an event from there. I'm not going to. I'll just carry on and showing you.
July 2023.
So it's missed out the 29th and 30th entirely because I don't actually have any events. So it's not bothered telling me I have nothing planned. It's just skipped it. Obviously, the focus is on the current day when you open a calendar, almost in any view. So that's why today was handled differently.
3 July 9th.
3 July 9th, the 3rd to the 9th of July. I suspect that's because of the way the text processing on my text-to-speech works, coupled with my language format choices for my phone. So I have a UK phone, but a US English text-to-speech, which is why you possibly get a slightly garbled date range. I'll keep going, though.
10 July 16th. Thursday, July 13th, 2023. Open day view.
So we're coming up with a day with an event on it. So let's carry on.
Task. Top up tablet data all day.
Yeah, so top up tablet data. I have unlimited data on one of my SIM cards, and the network allows you to transfer up to 100 gig to other SIM cards, as many as you like. So obviously that's cheaper than buying them data themselves. So on the day that the unlimited data refreshes, I transfer that data. So you're hearing how it's handling it. It's pulled up the specific day. So I'm going to go back to today. Why don't we use that button in the towards the top right?
Jump to the day button. Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. Open day view.
So it says I can open day view. I can also do this in the very first button we looked at that takes us into calendars and into the drawer, essentially. Before I do that, though, there's one other area of the screen I want to show you. Now we've essentially navigated at the top and what's on it, and that is the bottom right-hand corner.
Create new event and more button.
Create new event and more, and we'll go in here in a minute. You also might recall that another way to do that was when we heard that we had nothing planned for today. It said double tap to create. That would do the same thing. So let's go back towards the top of the screen, just below that line of buttons we talked about.
Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. Open day view.
So I can open day view from here, and I'm actually going to do that rather than going to the menu. Though you'll see when we do into the drawer that the views are there as well. So I'll double tap. No haptics instantly. It has changed though. So no haptic, no anything really from TalkBack to denote that. So let's see what we've got now.
Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. Open schedule view.
So if I double tap again, that's essentially a toggle. That would put us back into that schedule or agenda view that we just looked at.
Create new event and more button.
And because I have nothing scheduled for today, the first thing is create event.
Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. Open schedule view.
Now, the other good thing about day view is that I can move days relatively easily. I can do a 2-finger swipe left. It's a 1-finger swipe for sighted users, obviously, to go to a later day.
Thursday, June 29th, 2023. Open. Friday, June 30th, 2023. Open schedule view.
And I can come back with a 2-finger swipe right.
Thursday, June 29th, 2023. Open schedule view. Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. Open schedule view.
And that's the other nice thing about TalkBack, of course. That's an Android gesture, but if you want to perform it, all you do is add a finger. So if you're asking someone how to use the calendar, you can just add a finger to what they tell you to do. Nice feature, underrated feature of TalkBack and Android. So let's have a look at creating an event then. So I'm going to double tap that button we talked about.
Create new event and more button. Event button.
So what do we have? We have event.
Task button. Working location button.
So if I'm sharing my calendar in a work context, working location can be helpful because it can tell people where I am. If they think they can catch me in the office, but actually I've set a location to home, they'll know they can't. They'll know that if they want to meet me that day, they'll need to include some sort of virtual option. So people underuse this feature in a work context, in my view, especially given the greater increase of hybrid working post-COVID, but it is there.
Out of office button.
And I can tell people that I'm out of office.
Cancel button.
I don't want to cancel out, so I'm going to go back to event.
Event button.
I'll double tap.
Add title. Show in English. UK. QWERTY.
Now I've been invited to a barbecue in a couple of weeks, so I may as well put this in.
Capital V out of list. Capital B. Capital B. N. November. B. Q. Quebec. Q.
Now in the top right hand here, I have a save button.
Editing. BBQ. Save. Button out of list. Editing. BBQ. Edit box. Add title. 1 of 23. And list. 23 items.
That is a little bit premature because I haven't actually set anything else yet. So let's carry on and see what else we can do in here.
Button. Events. Or green.
So that's telling me where it's being saved. I could change this and set one of the other addresses on my phone and it would save in that calendar instead. I don't need to do that.
All day off. Switch. 5 of 23.
It's not an all-day event, but that's quite helpful.
Start date. Wed. June 28th, 2023.
So it isn't today. I'm going to double tap on start date.
Keyboard hidden. Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. 2023 out of list. Wed. June 28th.
So it is in 2023. I'm going to double tap the day.
Select month and day. Previous month. Button. Next month. Button.
It is in July, so I'm going to hit next month. Seems the most simple way to do it.
Page 1483 of 2412. July 1st, 2023, and pager. July 2nd, 2023.
It's actually on July the 11th, so I'm just going to carry on like this.
July 11th, 2023. Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. Selected.
I just double tapped it to set it.
OK, but cancel button. OK button.
We actually want an OK button, which is below all of that, but it's not in the bottom right. It's about a third of the way down the screen.
BBQ. Showing English. UK. QWERTY. Calendar. Start date. Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. 5 of 23. And list. 23 items.
The start date is set.
Start time. 0630.
No, it's not at 6:30 in the morning. I'll go in and change that.
0630. Select hours. 06. Out of list. Keyboard hidden. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 19. 20. Selected. 19. OK button. BBQ. Calendar. Start time. 1930. 5 of 23. And list. 23 items.
So the minutes were right. So it's set now for 7:30 or 19:30 as it has it.
End date. Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. End time. 2030.
It'll be longer than that now, but I don't really need an end date. The only end time, the only purpose for setting that is if I'm worried that something else is going to go in over the top of it. As long as I have a start time for this event, actually, it's fine.
Button. British Summer Time. 6 of 23.
I can change the time zone here.
Button. Does not repeat. 7 of 23.
It's not a recurring event, although if we went into here, we could find all sorts of recurrence options if we wanted, weekly, monthly, weekly on certain days, or, all sorts of that. As you might imagine in a calendar, you can go in and explore that if you like.
Add people. 9 of 23.
Do I want to invite anybody? No, I'm not hosting it. So this is just a reminder to me to turn up.
View schedules. Button. 10 of 23.
So I don't need to view anyone's schedules.
Button. Add video conferencing. 12 of 23.
That would be boring. That would be a virtual barbecue. I don't really want to go to that.
Button. Add location. 14 of 23.
I could add a location. I know where it is though, but I could just type in a location if I wanted to. That's fairly self-explanatory.
30 minutes before. 16 of 23.
30 minutes before. This is obviously talking about the reminder, although it doesn't say it. 30 minutes is plenty because it's about a 15-minute walk away.
Remove notification. Button.
If I don't want it to notify me, I can do that.
Button. Add notification. 17 of 23.
If I want to customize it or add a different notification.
Button. Default color. 19 of 23.
I don't really care what color the appointment is.
Add description. Edit box. 21 of 23.
I don't need a description. I could do, though, if this were a meeting request, say, and I wanted to provide more information that was in the title, then I might put that here.
Button. Add attachment. 23 of 23.
If I wanted to add meeting papers or an attachment, I could do that. So I don't, because it's a barbecue. And as I said, the save button was in the top right-hand corner.
Button. Events. Or green one. Save. Button. Out of list.
So I'll double tap save.
Wednesday, June 28, 2023. Open schedule view.
So let's go see if it's there. Getting there via day view is going to be a bit slow, so I'll double tap on schedule view, that toggle we talked about. And now I'll explore, and we should find one more event than we had previously.
Nothing planned. Tap to create.
That's for today, obviously.
July 2023. 3 July 9th. 10 July 16th. Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. Open day view. BBQ 1930-2030.
And there it is. I didn't have to open day view to see that. It was associated with this day. I'm going to go into this now. I'll double tap it.
View event. BBQ. Unlabeled.
Now I could edit it or I can delete it, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to go into more options at the top.
More options. Button. Pop-up window. Delete and list. View event. BBQ. Delete this event out of list. Cancel. Button. Delete. Button. View event.
Now, while that's perfectly doable from your phone screen, and there may be reasons you want to do that, you can, of course, do it a different way. We could get Google Assistant to do this for us. So why don't I see if that works?
Home. Button.
Create an event.
What's the title of the event?
Barbecue.
All right. When is the event?
The 11th of July, 2023.
At what time?
7:30 p.m.
Okay, barbecue on the 11th of July at 7:30 p.m. Do you want to save that?
Yes.
Sure, I added it.
So let's see if that works.
Calendar. Search button. July 2023. 3 July 9th. 10 July 16th. Tuesday, July 11th, 2023. Open day view. Barbecue, 19/30/2030.
And there it is. I have found this to be a little bit glitchy. There was a time where, fairly recently, earlier in 2023, where the assistant would only create events for the current day, regardless of when you said the event was. They do seem to have fixed that. What I have found, though, is if you try and invoke Google Assistant from the calendar, it won't always create the event. It says it's done it, and there's absolutely nothing there. So what I did prior to doing that was to exit the calendar by hitting the home screen, getting the assistant to do it, and doing that. And you can experiment by stringing together more of the instructions than I did there. So you could include the date and time. You could try and go it all in one go. If you do find the glitches, though, use smaller pieces of information. I don't know if it's that the sorts of strings you use to create the event and the amount of natural language options you include at once has an impact as well. I haven't troubleshot all the variables, but if you want a fail-safe way to get it to work, do it from outside the calendar and ask it one thing at a time. It seems, to me anyway, to be slightly more reliable that way. Obviously, your mileage may vary. So we'll now go into the calendar list and settings drawer by tapping that button at the top left.
Show calendar list and settings drawer button. Menu list.
So the first thing you have here are different views. I mentioned the toggle where you can change day view to schedule view, but if I explore this, you'll see there are
schedule view selected. Day view. 3-day view. Week view. Month view.
And they will work as you might imagine they would work. And the 2-finger swipes left and right will also change the 3-day, week and month to the next and previous and next periods. So what we have following that are the ability to turn off events or tasks for each of the Google accounts set up on your phone. I'm not going to show you all of that. As I mentioned at the start, I have a lot of them. So I will scroll down towards the bottom and show you a couple of other things you may want to change.
Birthdays ticked.
And that will show you birthdays if you've entered them into your contacts. That can be quite handy if you've put dates of birth in for family and friends.
Holidays unticked.
Holidays. Now, I untick this. I don't particularly need holidays on my calendar. Literally all I want from my calendar is to tell me what I have to do today.
Settings.
So I'll show you a few settings categories, by no means all, because there are quite a lot in here. So I'll double tap.
Settings. Back button out of list. Settings. More options button. General 1 of 18 and list 18 items.
So we'll go into general first of all.
General. Start of the week, Monday, 1 of 17, and list 17 items.
So it's not the start of the week in every location. Obviously, that might be Sunday in some jurisdictions.
Use devices time zone on switch 2 of 17.
Fairly sensible, probably.
Time zone British Summer Time GMT +1 Sun disabled 3 of 17. Alternative calendar, no alternative calendar 4 of 17.
If I turned devices time zone off, I could obviously adjust the previous option about British Summer Time. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to use an alternative calendar either, so we'll carry on.
Show week number off, switch 5 of 17.
I really don't need a week number. That's fine.
Show declined events on switch 6 of 17.
Show declined events. Now, this is interesting in a work context. For me, I don't particularly like it. It means my calendar's too cluttered. My personal calendar isn't particularly cluttered, so I'm not going to turn this off. But you can do, and I do indeed on my work Google Calendar.
Display shorter entries the same size as 30 minute entries off switch 7 of 17.
So visually, depending on how long the calendar event is, you can adjust how it looks. Not particularly useful for screen reader users, so do as you will with that setting.
Default event duration, 8 of 17.
So you can change default event duration if you want. Typically it's an hour. You can shorten that, and you can change it for each calendar as well.
CON, entrance story, or green 1009.
I'll go into my main one.
Cancel, 15 minutes, enlist. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, ticked, 60, 90 minutes, 120, cancel, button, out of.
I'll just hit cancel to get out of this.
Settings, or green 1009, MICHIKOG, or green, entrance story, copy
And back again.
back, button, out of list, general, adding invitations, 9 of 17.
Let's go see what we have in the adding invitations section. And in here we have
Add invitations to my calendar, only if the sender is known, 7 of 13. Let others see all invitations, if they have permission, to view or edit my events, off, switch, 8 of 13.
So that's really about who can send you invitations and who can see them. So you can go in and change that as you like.
Back, button, out of, general, add video conferencing, 10 of 17.
So you can go in here. If you want your events to come by default with video conferencing, you can do that rather than having to add them on an event-by-event basis. I'd be careful with this, especially for in-person meetings, because people may not show up. We've had that a few times during sort of hybrid working arrangements where people have defaulted to that and have forgotten essentially that it's on, and then wondered why no one turned up in their physical meeting room, and obviously they didn't connect to the device. So be slightly careful about that setting.
Theme, system default, 11 of 17. Notifications, 12 of 17.
Let's see what we have here.
Notify on this device, on, switch, 13 of 17.
Pretty sensible, I would have said.
Calendar notifications, 14 of 17.
Go in there and have a look at what notifications you could have.
Tasks notifications, 15 of 17. You can change default notifications by going to the individual calendar, for example events, 16 of 17. Quick responses, 17 of 17.
So you can, as it said, have different notifications and events for different calendars. Let me back out of here.
Button, out of settings. Events from Gmail, 2 of 18.
Let's go and have a look at events from Gmail. I'm not going to go into all of this, but it is quite interesting. So we'll double tap on that. That's the next settings category.
Events from Gmail. Events from Gmail. Show events from Gmail. On. Switch. 2 of 8. Enlist. 8. Privacy of email events. Only me. 3 of 8.
So what does show events from Gmail mean?
Gmail can automatically create events that can be displayed on your calendar. These events will help you keep track of things like flights and other reservations. To get events from Gmail, you must also turn on smart features and personalization in Gmail settings. Learn more. 8 of 8.
I'm not going to go into how to turn on the necessary Gmail settings to have that happen. Could be helpful depending on if you like how Gmail creates the events. You may prefer to keep more control over that and turn it off.
Back button up. Settings. Back button. Events 4 of 18. Tasks 5 of 18.
What you have in the next part of settings is the ability to control events and tasks for the different accounts on the device, and I'm not going to go into that.
Birthdays 17 of 18. Holidays 18 of 18.
And here you have birthdays and holidays. I've told you about birthdays in terms of them coming from your contacts. Let's go see what holidays has to say for itself.
Holidays. Back button out. Holidays. More options button. Color, eucalyptus. National holidays, United Kingdom, 6 of 13. Add religious holidays, 7 of 13.
So if we go into religious holidays.
Religious holidays, Christian holidays, enlist. Hindu holidays, Jewish holidays, Muslim holidays, Orthodox holidays. Cancel, button, out of list. OK, button, cancel.
So there are the different sorts of holidays you can add. As I say, I don't particularly want holidays on my calendar. If you have turned holidays off, as I have, they're all going to be unchecked when you go into them. If holidays are on, they're going to be checked, and you can just reverse the ones you don't want in either scenario. And that concludes this demonstration of the Google Calendar.